On March 18, 1928, in Durham, North Carolina, Robinson Everett began his life as the son of two local attorneys. His father, Reuben, was one of Duke University's first law students and was Durham's first city attorney. His mother, Catherine, after graduating from UNC School of Law in 1920, became the first woman to argue and win a case before the North Carolina Supreme Court. Robinson's accomplishments would be no less. Attending public schools in Durham, he quickly gained a reputation for both academic and athletic prowess, prompting one Durham newspaper to note that if professors picked all-state students like sports writers pick all-state sports teams, the leading choice, and probably the captain, would be Robinson Everett. Robinson attended 1 year at Phillips Exeter Academy in New Hampshire before coming back to North Carolina to attend UNC, only to later transfer to Harvard. As a freshman at Harvard, Robinson won the Wendell Scholarship as the outstanding freshman, made Phi Beta Kappa, and graduated in 1947, magna cum laude, at the age of 19. He immediately entered Harvard Law, where he was an editor of the Harvard Law Review and graduated in 1950, ranked 4th in his class of 445. He then came back to Durham, earned admission to the North Carolina Bar, and at the age of 22 became a member of Duke Law's faculty, the youngest in the history of Duke Law. He left Duke during the Korean War in 1951 to enlist as a private in the United States Air Force. After leaving active duty, Everett became a commissioner in the U.S. Court of Military Appeals. He would serve in the United States Air Force Reserve until 1978, when he retired at the rank of colonel. He came back to Durham in 1954 to join his parents' law firm, Everett, Everett, and Everett. And in that year, they became the first family trio to be sworn into the bar of the United States Supreme Court on the same day. He would engage in private practice from 1955 to 1980. He returned to Duke Law as a member of the faculty in 1956, earned his Master's of Law in 1959, gaining tenure in 1967. Everett professed law, was a mentor and friend to students for 51 years, admired by his students for his unmatched example, his abiding faith, and his wise counsel. Over the course of the next 4 decades, in addition to his teaching duties at Duke, he would serve as part-time counsel to the Senate Subcommittee on Constitutional Rights, serve on the ABA's Standing Committee on Military Law, and on the Advisory Committee for the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure and Evidence. He was a life member of both the American Law Institute and the National Conference of Commissioners on Uniform State Laws, and he was a director of the American Judicature Society and served as chairman of the North Carolina Continuing Legal Education Board. In 1980, President Carter appointed Robinson to the United States Court of Military Appeals, where he served as chief judge until 1990, serving thereafter as senior judge, for which he was awarded the Medal for Distinguished Public Service by Secretary of the Army Michael Stone, the highest award bestowed upon a private citizen by the Department of Defense. In addition to publishing numerous legal articles spanning topics from military law to criminal procedure and evidence, Judge Everett also published a textbook entitled Military Justice in the Armed Forces of the United States. Considered one of the nation's top authorities on military justice, beginning in 1991, Judge Everett also taught a national security class at the law schools at Wake Forest, Duke, and the University of North Carolina. In 1993, he founded the Center for Law, Ethics, and National Security at Duke. Perhaps his most notable professional accomplishments were when he argued before the United States Supreme Court a total of 4 times for the cases Shaw v. Reno and Shaw v. Hunt, arguments which prompted the court to find North Carolina's 12th congressional district unconstitutional. But behind the countless honors, accolades, awards, and recognitions, he considered his greatest achievement in life to be his family. His beloved wife Lynn and their 3 sons, Rob Jr., Greg, and Luke, were the foundation upon which his life and career were built. Robinson Everett, lawyer, judge, professor, son, father, and husband. A giant among giants. And as one Duke alumnus said, there are few great people, and he was one.